Okay, good morning, everyone. Jodie Siemens here from Taking Perspective, and today's webinar is how do you find your purpose? So for those of you who are new to the group, thank you very much for joining us here. You have the privilege of getting these webinars live streamed at 9 a.m. and obviously they remain in the group so you can watch them at your leisure. If at any stage you would like a copy, please just DM me and I will send you a copy of the webinar to have for your own resources. Okay, so here we are, live Friday, every Friday, 9 a.m. Alrighty, let's get going. So how do you find your purpose? Today's topics are: what is purpose? How do we search for purpose? And how does purpose relate to self-knowledge and the meaning of life? That's quite a deep one. And what are the benefits of having a purpose? So firstly, let's go through the what is purpose. Okay, so purpose is where we find meaning. What we want to do and contribute. So purpose certainly can be linked to your career, but many people find that their purpose is more than just their work. And if it's linked to your job and it's a broader purpose, that is perfect. But often as we go through, you'll find that your purpose is not actually linked to your job, depending on the alignment you are within your job. Okay, so what does purpose mean is the real question. Our purpose is not always inherently known to us, and I think that's something that causes some people a little bit of anxiety. It is a thing, and people are constantly in search, and when they can't find their purpose, they tend to get quite anxious about, their meaning in life. So it's not always inherently known to us, and we usually need to find it. Sometimes we create it, and sometimes we just learn it, and it can be quite tricky. So what does it look like? What does purpose look like in you? So as you identify with your purpose, the world around you and how you fit into it, you find that your life's purpose is really about forward thinking, and it's a compass that guides you. It is something that you aim for. Your purpose helps you achieve your goals because it motivates you to get what you want out of life. So the quote, compare what we ought to be, compared to what we ought to be, we are half awake. William James. It's quite interesting quote. So here we have, why do we search for our purpose? So human beings, we're the only beings that can put their own existence into question, basically. And the biggest quest in life is an individual to find their meaning. And the question about being human and like the meaning of the human life is an age-old question. So the meanings are really at the core of your own experiences. They're at the core of whatever it is that you do. And it's only through these meanings that we create our own personal existence. So in life, we find meaning through a sense of purpose, which makes our life and gives it a feeling of being worthwhile. So that's why we find that we need to search for purpose, because we want to feel like we're giving something. So the next one, here I've got some scientific explanations around our need to find and search for our purpose. So Franklin in 1978 aptly pointed out a firm sense of meaning is essential for optimal human development. Bruner in 1990 put it more bluntly, noting that without meaning systems, we would lose we would be lost in murk of chaotic experience and probably would not survive as a species in any case. So meaning of life is not just theoretical, physiological, philosophy. I can't even say that word now, philosophical. It's really about bearing down on human health and well-being. That's Carl Jung, 1970. It's about the absence of meaning related to our psychopathy. So it's really about the meaning to your life. In Yolm in 1980 stated in an empirical research confirmed earlier, clinical observations that to live without meaning, goals and values provokes considerable distress. Another one, I have Franklin in 1970, speaks to the uniqueness of meaning, a quality not only of a situation, but even of life as a whole, since life is a string of unique situations. And again, Franklin in 1970 postulated that a man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life and not just a secondary realization. It's instinctual, it instinctually drives us to do what we want to do with our lives. So quite a lot of research has gone into this. So how does purpose relate to self-knowledge and the meaning of life? So when your knowledge or your passions and values are closely aligned with your aspirations, your goals, these things motivate you, then you find your purpose is more coherent and provides you with a more meaning in your life. So when this happens, then the purpose becomes your central sense. It becomes a consistent and predominant part of your personality. It begins to sort of self-regulate itself and self-organize itself in a way that provides you with a framework so that every day your behavioral patterns give you an aim in your life, something to aim for, something to pursue, and something to live out. So once you have an understanding of your purpose and how you fit into the world, your purpose is intrinsically motivating. It's something that is your driving force. It helps you prioritize what's most important to you. So when it comes to your goals and what you want to achieve, it aligns you with your actions so that you can start actually implementing and taking steps towards those goals. And it helps you remain in focus. And that's the motivation side of it. You keep focused on the end game. So it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. E.E. Cummings. I like that quote. So here we have, what are the benefits of having a purpose? So firstly, meaning provides a purpose for our lives. Secondly, it furnishes values or standards by which to judge our actions. Thirdly, it gives us a sense of control over the events in our life. And lastly, it provides us with a sense of worth. So living purposely really gives you meaning to your life. It gives you positively affects your emotional landscape because you feel good about who you are, what you're doing, you feel congruent with your life. So it gives you this encouragement, it gives you better connections in your relationships and a sense of overall purpose. So having a purpose is an incredible important resource in life. It enhances our experience in the world and it really helps to helps us with our resilience and our cope for hardship. Because once you have a full understanding of your purpose and you have that motivation behind you, you tend to problem solve a lot better. You tend to pivot a lot better. So this is where it helps you with your hardship. So our goals tend to be congruent with our purpose, and we are at our happiest selves when we are in line with our purpose. Purpose is a generative source of meaning through a constant goal setting and achievement that align you with your deepest self. So when we talk about goal setting and achievement, we really have to make sure we break down the big picture and align ourselves with the little pictures within that goal. So when we find our purpose, the task seems effortless. I said it correctly, effortless. The thinking process seems effortless and time seems to fly by. So as they say, you know, time flies when you're having fun. You seem to lack the cognitive desire to know what the clock is doing. You just lose yourself in space and time, and we become one with the activity. So in summary, when people are unable to find a meaning for any of the functions in their life, they tend to find themselves lost, or they outgrow their meaning once they have achieved it. So they become distressed. Our emotional problems tend to result from a failure of finding meaning in life. And this can easily be resolved through finding something to make life worth living for and living towards. I think that's really important part of our mindset, that everyone needs a purpose. We need to get up every day and know we're here for a reason. So our purpose is not always inherently known to us, but it is something that we can learn, we can strive for, and we can find it. Purpose is a forward-thinking process. It's our compass that provides us with our guidance and something to aim for. So when your knowledge or your patterns, your values, your, that cognitive side are closely aligned with your aspirations and your goals, which is your motivational side. So when your motivation is there behind your cognitive side, then your purpose seems to be more coherent with who you are and provides you with a better sense and meaning in life. Having a purpose is an incredible resourceful process, and it enhances your experience with the world. It helps you cope with hardship. It improves your relationships. It improves your self-worth. It improves your mindset. And it helps you just achieve your goals and be a part of your happiest self. So here we are at the end. Thank you everyone who jumped online and watched this webinar. How do you find your purpose? For those who didn't make it today but did register, you will receive a copy of this in your email box. Do look out for it. For those of you of the Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group, I will actually pop a link. You can take a quiz, and it's very simple, easy to do, something that you can do to help you search for your purpose. So I'll also pop that in the email for those who registered today. And I'll also provide you with a link for a meditation. It's a 10-minute meditation, and even for those of you who aren't meditators, I think this is a really good meditation to do, because what it does is you find yourself allowing that the meditation allows you to identify and focus with your real self. So potentially you could do the meditation first and then secondly do the quiz. As I say, the meditation is completely guided. It's called Become the Mountain, and I believe it is something that's really valuable. So again, thank you for being here. Next week's webinar is on our beliefs. And from there, we'll also, don't forget my podcast, Empowering Ordinary Women's Podcast. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to send me a private message and we can have a chat. There is links about on my page where you can book in for a clarity call if it's something deeper you would like to talk about. Thanks, guys. Jodie Seamans from Taking Perspective.